Time now for the voice of the land on the Big Play Network with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Always Positive Jay.
For you, being the goalie, you got a unique position, obviously, because you're almost on an island, you know what I mean? How much do you love that pressure of being the goalie? Like in hockey, I know you get a hot goalie in playoffs, you can win, and you don't have to have the best of teams, but you got a great team behind you, obviously. But how do you love playing goalie position?
Oh man, that's a loaded question. So I'm gonna have to give you a loaded answer, but it's definitely not for everyone. I'll tell you that. There's times where even I'm like, geez, this is rough, but I just love the intensity of it and just being that last line of defense. Since I started playing when I was 10, 11 years old, it was my first position, so I fell in love pretty early. But all the ups and downs that come with it, that's why I do appreciate the position for what it is. And everyone that has played the position, whether it's in soccer, goalie, whatever it is, or in hockey, whatever it is, there's a certain level of understanding of from one goalie to another and actually what it takes, from a physical and mental toll. Because like I said, whether we're up or down in games, if I'm losing focus back there and I'm the last line of defense, then we're in trouble, right? So, regardless of the scoreline, I have to stay composed and confident and keep the morale high and, always communicate with the team. So for me, it's like I said, I've been playing for a while, but, it's second nature for me now, but I definitely love the constant challenges and the new challenges and hurdles that always come in every single game, right? You're not going to see the same type of players and the same type of shots. So it's always something that you have to adapt to. And that's what I love about it. You just got to be creative and trust your instincts and the training you put in and, just go out there and perform and, be the hero in the sticks.
Yeah, because I used to play hockey goalie, or like street hockey, because grew up watching Mighty Ducks and just fell in love with street hockey. And so I bought all the goalie gear because I wasn't about running up and down the field with everybody else. But I knew the game could be completely in my hands if I have my absolute A game on and my team can rely on me. And you understand that. Like, you love that challenge and that ability to rise to it because, like I said, you're on an island, man, out there pretty much. And you got dudes just taking fireballs, shooting them right at you the whole game. And I loved watching you immediately my first game there. It was just like, all right, this dude knows what he's doing. He's on it, man.
Well, definitely appreciate it. Yeah. I love that. Like I said, I love the competition, the challenge overall. So whether I get a hit in the leg or hit in the face, which has all happened a bunch of times, I'm okay with it.
I saw it.
Come out victorious.
You're definitely you're pretty tough, man. I got to give it to you.
Marijo Musa, goalkeeper for the Crunch, is joining us here on the Voice of the Land. Just going off of that, though, Mario, like, you've played goalkeeper basically your whole time playing sport of soccer, and a lot of people that get into it find that position that they just absolutely love and kind of get a chance to stick with it. But there's a difference between, and not a lot of people understand, there's a big difference between the outdoor game and the goalie's role there versus the indoor game, where it's more confined. You're confined by walls. There's only 5 field players plus the goalkeeper, which you can become part of the offensive attack as much as all the other players as well, and can venture out of net when necessary, when appropriate. You have good foot skills. How much do you revel in that opportunity with those outlet passes from the goal box, but also kind of inching up the field, allowing yourself to become part of the attacking part of the team and not just having to sit back there inside that goal mount the entire game?
Yeah, no, definitely. You bring up a great point, right? So in indoor, when you have a goalie that has good foot skills and good footwork, it's essentially a 6 attacker, right? And that's one of the benefits we have. And obviously I'm thankful that, the guys trust me, right? And regardless of wherever I've played, I've been thankful for that. And I appreciate it. I've obviously put in a lot of work to get to that point, and I've always wanted to, especially in the indoor game. You talked about outdoor a little bit different, but indoor goalkeepers are way more involved. They're way more active, a lot more distribution that actually pertains to the game and actually affects the game. Outdoor, majority of goalkeepers, they make those short passes and they don't maybe see a ball for another 5-10 minutes, right? It's more so shot stopping than it is feet. Whereas in indoor, you're seeing a lot of shots, but you're also touching the ball a lot with your feet. So, it's definitely important. And, I love the opportunity. I love being part of the game and being part of the build-up play. A lot of goalies, they just get looked at as, hey, you better stop the ball, and that's it. I love being looked at as, hey, you were part of the build-up and you helped us even get an assist at times, right? So, that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with the indoor game. the intensity, the fast pace of the game, and just the involvement from the goalkeeper side. Everyone loves action, and being a hero on offense or defense. So
well, that, and when they miss, it can come right back to them. There's a wall; it bounces right back, and it's not like, oh, they missed, good job, I'm done. No, you gotta get like normal soccer. It goes past the net, you get a little break or whatever. No, it's coming right back. Someone catch a deflection. It's crazy for you out there. I'm telling you. Something I've always wanted to ask a goalie this, and I'm glad I remembered. So when I'm watching penalty kicks, sometimes it almost looks like the goalie has to guess if it's going left or right to really stand a chance. Is that happening, or is it just I think they're going this way because their foot's angled, and then at the last second they're kicking it the other way? Like, what goes in your guys' head when a penalty kick's coming on?
Honestly, indoor is a lot more different approach than outdoor. Like outdoor, it's more so a guessing game. You can do some research on players, in previous games and stuff like that, and maybe try to guess the right side. But as far as indoor, the objective is really to come out as fast as possible and close the angle down for the attacker. That way, your presence is as big as possible, and you're standing up tall, right? Last thing you want to do is stay on the line. So that way, the closer they get, they have more room to shoot. So you kind of want to close that down and minimize the size of the goal for them. And at that point, you got to kind of do a little bit of reading. Like this past weekend, I noticed the guy, as soon as I started running out, he tried to catch me off guard by shooting it as I was running. So I knew just off previous penalties watching him, like I had to be prepared with my left or right hand just to quickly react and see if I can maybe get a touch on it. And that's exactly what happened because my feet weren't even set when he shot it. So it was one of those things where a lot of guys usually can come out and get set and then kind of like you said, right, you can react and maybe cut one side or the other. But with him, it was like, hey, while you're running out, he's going to shoot it. So you just got to be ready to throw a hand up. And that's kind of what happened during the game. So
basically, it's really, really hard to stop.
It's intimidating, that's for sure. But, it's like I said, those moments as goalkeepers we look from, you obviously want to be a hero. And penalties are moments that every goalkeeper lives for. And they strive in those opportunities and, kind of wish for them in a way. It's a weird thing. Like I said, only I think a goalkeeper would understand. But when you get that opportunity and all eyes are on you, everyone's praying that you're going to save it and you come up with that save. It's just such a great feeling, individually and obviously from a team morale perspective. And, the fans, they appreciate it too. So I definitely love the penalties. So obviously the goal is to stay away from any sort of penalties or shootouts, but hey, it's part of the game and they will come. So.
And those shootouts in the indoor game are like hockey, where you're getting a running start, or like the old MLS days in the the late '90s when the league first started. They used to do penalties that way instead of an actual, penalty kick from the spot, just a stationary PK. In the outdoor game, the MLS used to actually do that as well, and that's what the indoor game has. Would you say, Mario, that you're almost trying to get the shooter to be guessing or even second guessing themselves by making them make a decision earlier than giving them the time to pick out that spot in a smaller goal mount?
Yeah, absolutely. Like my goal personally is to come out as fast as possible. And like I said, close that angle down. And then sometimes I even take an approach where I shift my body more so to the left side. If they're right footed, for example, I close down the right side because a lot of right footers like opening up their hips and shooting to their right side, which is my left. So sometimes I even come out fast and just kind of move over a little more. So that way they think, oh, he left that side open, I'm just going to shoot over there. And then last second I move over and kind of force them that way, right? So there's a bit of, tactics involved. I guess it all just depends on knowing your audience and who you're playing against. But either way, my goal is to come out as fast as possible, close those angles, be as big of a presence as I can, and make it as difficult as I can for them to shoot. So that way it's not as easy for them as it seems, right? I think from a distance, from an offensive side, it looks like, okay, it's just a goalie. This guy should score every time. But in indoor, actually, it seems like the goalie almost has a bit more of an advantage because they can fly out as far as they want and be as big as they want, right? Field players, you just have the ball and you have like 2-3 seconds before they got to score. Otherwise, everyone else is catching up. So it just kind of happens in the blink of an eye. And, that's why you probably noticed a lot of games during our season so far. We've missed a few, right? And when the goalies come out that far and fast, it kind of throws the striker off. So every goalie's different, has a different approach, but, again, it's just down to the forward to kind of adjust to what we do. So,
well, he would stop every shootout I have because he's already got my tactics as an offensive player.
Here
Open up the hips with my right foot.
It's funny you mentioned that. It's funny you mentioned that because I'm sitting here thinking like
that's why I'm not playing.
I'm over here thinking of me being me. I always said if I played soccer, I'd play goalie. Like I'm built to play goalie. I was a wide receiver, a shortstop, and goalie in hockey. Like I'm made to play the position. But far as I'm concerned, that's probably all in my head, and it's way harder than I'd ever imagined. Regardless, I got to come down to one of these games soon with my nephew. I'm going to come early, and you're going to give me a couple tips, and we're going to record Kevin doing a penalty shot on me playing goalie one of these days for the show.
Well, luckily my son doesn't understand what's actually.
Yeah,
what
he
he's
won't
actually
remember.
seeing.
So when I block you my first time ever in net, don't be embarrassed.
Man, I'm embarrassed. I
look at my teacher, man. I got this, dude. I got the Miyagi of goalies, bro.
Yeah, we should definitely do it, and then we gotta make sure that's the first thing that's shown on the live stream.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
We'll show it on the live stream. We'll show it on the show here.
It might not be the first thing because we got to keep him on the show. It might be the last thing.
I'm the first one to laugh at my embarrassment. That's what my son is going to learn, and the rest of my kids, when we have them, are going to learn very early. Like their dad embarrasses himself a lot, but he can laugh at himself too.